श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। ॐ अखण्डमण्डलाकारं व्याप्तं येन चराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुदेवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव त्वमेव सर्वं गुरुदेव देव। श्री सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय। ओम वासुदेवेन्द्र योगीन्द्रं नत्वा ज्ञानप्रदं गुरुं मुमुक्षूणां हितार्थाय तत्त्वबोधो विधीयते तत्त्वबोधो विधीयते। हरि ओम। Somebody asked Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji, Bhagavan, can you define who is student, whom we can call as student? Then Bhagavan gave his definition in Sanskritam. He says, Jijnasa upahita chaitanyaha shishya iti ardhaha, he says. We can call him as a shishya to whom he should be endowed with jijnasa. Jijnasa means he wants to know. That thought he should have. Jijnasa means I want to know. In school also, if we ask a teacher who will get more marks, then the teacher's straight answer is who wants more marks, he will get more marks. In the same way, whoever wants this knowledge about himself or the supreme truth or God, they will be called as Shishya. So for their welfare, I am going to teach this Tattva Bodha text. Then what is there in this Tattva Bodha text, sir? The title itself indicates Tattvam Eva Bodha. The truth itself is teaching. The truth itself is, then we can ask, which truth you are going to speak? Then he says, I am going to speak the truth of Jiva, the individual. Who is this? Or if subjectively we can ask, the question is, who am I? Then he answered, finally he concluded that we are nothing but Sat Chit Ananda Purna Brahma Swarupam. Beyond death, beyond birth, no time, no space limitations. We are unconditional, unconditioned truth. Okay. Then we ask the next question, Swamiji. Every day we are seeing this universe, this Jagat, enchanting Jagat, Swamiji. What are you talking? It is thrilling, life pulsating universe. What about this? Then Bhagavan started Jagat is this 24 elements, and finally he concluded that Even the essence of the Jagat also Brahman. The essence of the Jiva, what we said, Satchitananda Brahma, even the essence of Jagat also same. Two, Jagat ho gaya, Jiva ho gaya. Then the cause for these two. Who is the cause for Jagat, cause for the individuality? Then the Ishvara concept has come. Then the Ishvara, Sarvajna, Sarvavyapi, Sarvashaktiman, Akhanda, Pariman, Parsha. Even though his essence also that Satchidananda, pure consciousness only. So finally, entire creation, whether it is an individual or universe or the creator, all of three have the same reality, that is called Tattvam, that is called truth, that is called Brahma. Brahma eva asti, that is one. Example we have seen, it is like ocean. We may call ocean with big magnitude, or we may call as a wave with small magnitude, but the water is same. Water is one. On that water, we superimpose different conditionings, activities, characteristics, so many things, then we are labeling. We are fighting each other. We are differentiating entire ocean into different parts. But the truth is one, that is called Brahma Eva. Now today's topic is, Swamiji, this student, he started his journey as a jignasu. He wants to know that. He ended his journey as a jnani. He knew now who is he. Actually, this will be the journey. We start our journey to know what it is, and we end our journey after knowing it. This individual, he known this truth. Then what about him? This is the greatness of our scriptures. If you see the Gita, in Gita also, in every chapter almost, Bhagavan Sri Krishna, he glorifies these Mahatmas because they are very rare. They are very holy. They are very worshipable, reverential. In some chapter, he used to say this is the Lakshanas of Bhaktas. In some chapter, he used to say this is the Lakshana of Sthita Prajna, Gunatita Purusha. So many titles he may give, but they all will end with the great Mahapurusha who came to know his true nature as a Brahma Jnani. In Gurudev's prayer also we chant Samasta Janakalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidwaram. He is the best among the knower of the Brahman. Brahma with the Varam. We need their blessings because they are our ideals whom we can hang. They are our anchors. So they are our guides, and moreover, they are very compassionate, great Purushas, Mahatmas. Today, Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji, in his Tattvabodha text, he is concluding with the characteristics of man of realization. This man of realization, here the title is Jivan Muktaha. Jivan Muktaha means while living only, he got liberation. While living only. Jivan means while living. Muktaha means he got liberation. Liberation is not an easy thing. Complete associationess, all kinds of vasanas. Individuality completely, it has to go away. He has to settle in the Brahma Vritti only. That kind of Shuddha Sattva Buddhi and Antakarana, that Mahatma, he needs it. To get that, he will be called as a sadhaka. After this, he will be called as Siddha Purusha, great Mahatma. Now, Bhagavan is defining who is Jivan Mukta. He's saying, this is in page number 93 in my textbook. He's saying, Evam cha Vedanta Vakyaihi Sadguru Upadeshena cha Sarveshu api Bhuteshu Yesham Brahma Buddhi Rupa Utpanna Te Jivan Muktaha Ityardaha. Page number 109 in your textbooks. He will be called as Jivan Mukta. Jivan Mukta Ityardaha. Swamiji, who will be called as Jivan Mukta? He got the knowledge from Vedanta Vakyaihi. Vedanta Vakyaihi means from Upanishads. Vedanta Vakyaihi plus Sadguru Upadeshena. Who taught this Vedanta Vakyam, Swamiji, this Tattvamasi Vakyam? Sadguru. From his own Guru, he got that Upadesham. Which Upadesham, Swamiji? Tat Tvam Asi. You are that. That Upadesha he got from his Sadguru. That Upadesham in Upanishads. That's why Vedanta Vakyaihi Sadguru Upadeshena. He got the knowledge. Then Swamiji, how will be that knowledge of Brahma Jnani? What is the nature of that knowledge? Bhagavan is saying, Sarveshu Bhuteshu. In all beings, Sarveshu Bhuteshu, Brahma Buddhi Utpanna. He will see the Brahman only. This is the nature of the knowledge of the Brahma Jnani. He will see the Brahma Rupam only, not only in human beings, Sarveshu Bhuteshu. In all beings, he could see that Brahma Swarupam. If anybody can see that, he will be called as Jivan Mukta. That great Purusha is titled as Jivan Mukta. I would like to tell one point regarding this Jivan Mukta word. In our Hindu culture, the Parama Purushartha is called Mukti. Veda said we have 4 Purusharthas: Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. The first Purushartha is Artha. Artha means we should get a security actually. It may be wealth or position or job, whatever, we should get it. Purushartha means you work for it and get it. That is called Purushartha. Prayatnena labhyati. With our efforts, we will get it. That is called Purushartha. One is called Artha. That is called security for our life. Veda is saying, do it. Don't sit lazy. You work on it. Artha. Second one is called Kama Purushartha. Kama Purushartha means you have desires. Fulfill it. With good means. You have that. Kama Purushartha. These two we all do. 99% human beings, they do accomplish these two. Artha Purushartha tick, Kama Purushartha tick. The third one is called Dharma Purushartha. Because we cannot see the effect of Dharma. Whereas Artha Kama, we can see their life. Dharma, for example, Swamiji, today I am giving the great charity. What will be its result? We don't know, but it will be there. That's why they say this is Alaukika Purushartha. You cannot see that result of this particular Purushartha, but we have to do that. That is called Dharma Purushartha. That is there in our society. We have to protect people, or we have to do charity, we have to do Dharma activities, Dharmika activities. That is third Purushartha. And the final one is the culmination of human life is called Moksha Purushartha. As long as you are a Jiva, so long these conditionings will be there. So you must strive for the liberation. Then only your life will be fulfilled. That is called purpose of life. Jivana Safalyata. We got great life, Manushyatvam, Mumukshatvam, Mahapurusha Samstrayam. Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji says, you already got, you are already lucky because you are a human being. You can think. Then do the vicharana and finally come to know your own true nature. That is Brahmaswara. If you know your own true nature, that is called as moksham. The man who got this moksham, he will be called as Mukta Purusha. Here, the debate is few people call as Jivan Mukta and some people they call as Videha Mukta. Videha Mukta means they call this liberation will be attained after death. Videha means when we drop our body, then only we will get the liberation, because body is a conditioning, their argument. But Bhagwan Shankaracharya ji, he says no, that is completely wrong. Even Gurudev says Videha Mukti is not a proper statement. While living only, I have to know who am I, whether with body or without body. So when we live only, we should get this knowledge and we will confirm that knowledge in our intellect. That is called Jivan Mukti, while living only. So our Adi Shankaracharya philosophy, we vote for this Jivan Mukti Sthiti. Swamiji, if I go to Vaikunta only, I will be Mukta Purusha. I go to Kailasha only, I will be Mukta Purusha. No, even you are a Chandala also, you can be a Mukta Purusha. Bhagavan says. You are a little young boy also, you can be a Jivan Mukta Purusha. We cannot condition him with our own superimpositions. That is called Jivan Mukti. And to get this Jivan Mukti, what we need, Swamiji? We need knowledge. Jnanam eva sadhanam. Nothing, anything, not anything other. The Mukti Pradata is Jnanam. Knowledge. Knowledge about whom, Swamiji? About our own self. That's why it is called Atma Jnana. Not Bhautika Jnanam, Rasayana Jnanam, or Ganita Jnanam. Atma Jnanam is the aid for liberation. From where we can get this Atma Jnanam, Swamiji? Two instruments we need. One is Upanishad, second is Sadguru. One boy asked Puja Gurudev, we have so many books. Why we need a guru? Then Gurudev replied, why don't you ask this question to the books? This is the answer. Because books cannot reveal the truth. And moreover, this truth is completely subtle truth. Why, Swamiji? This is not an objective science. You cannot experiment in laboratory. You cannot taste, you cannot think, you cannot touch it. So this subjective knowledge has so much subtlety. To reveal that subtlety of the knowledge, we need a Satguru who is Brahmanishta. Upanishad is saying, Shrotriyam Brahmanishta. He is well versed, at the same time he should be established in the truth. We need that Guru. And the great Upanishads. Vedanta Vakyena, Sadguru Upadeshena, Ye Jnanam Labhati. This knowledge we will get. And the fruitification of this knowledge or the manifestation of this knowledge is such, we can see the Brahma everywhere. Sarveshu Bhuteshu Brahma Buddhi Utpannaha. In everything, he is not going to see the name, form, attributes, good, bad, Shubha, Ashubha, Punya, Papa, nothing. He sees that Shuddha Chaitanya Brahma Swarupam. That great man is called as a Jivan. In one of the commentary, Bhagwan Shankaracharya ji, very seriously he says one statement. He says, Shastrajnopi Brahma Anveshanam Swatantriyena na kuryat. Shastrajnopi, even though you are a great scholar, Shastrajnopi, Brahma Anveshanam, the searching about Brahma, Swatantriyena, independently, na kuryat, you should not do. We need a master. Because it cannot be revealed to our intellect if we don't have a guru. That's why he is instructing. Then we will come to Madatma Sarva Bhutatma. Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma. Aham Brahma Asmi. That will be the nature of knowledge of him. And then Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji, he says so many points about him. And the next point he says, the student is asking, Nanu, hey Guru, but Jivan Muktaha Kaha? Who is Jivan Mukta? Hai na? See the definition Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji is giving. Yadha Dehoham Purushoham Brahmanoham Shudroham Asmi iti Drudanishchaya. Arey, my dear student, you are asking who is Brahmajnani aina? I will tell one thing, listen. In our case, one unmeditatable thought we are maintaining. That is called so natural thought. What is that thought, Swamiji? Dehoham. I am the body. We need not do any meditation to get the knowledge I am the body. It is so natural, spontaneous. Dehoham. Purushoham. There is no need to test whether he is a man or she is a woman. It is a natural tendency, Swamiji. Dehoham, Purushoham, Brahmanoham, Shudroham. How we have this knowledge? The student said, yes, Guruji, I have this knowledge, very comfortable knowledge I have. Unwavering knowledge we have regarding these issues. I am the body. I am a man. I am a Brahmana. I am a Sudra. So natural thought I have. Haina? Haina? See. Tada. In the same way, this Mahatma, Naham Brahmanaha. I am not the Brahman. Na Sudraha. Not even Sudra. Na Purushaha. I am not man. Kintu, then who are you, Mahatma? Asanga Satchidananda Swarupaha. How naturally we are feeling I am the body, I am the man. In the same way, he will feel. He is Asanga Swarupa. Satchidananda Parabrahma Aham. Same way. Comfortably, unmeditatively, naturally, his settlement is that. Asangaha Satchidananda Swarupa. Prakasha Rupaha. Prakasha Rupaha means I am the Shuddha Jnana Swarupa. Sarvantaryami. I pervaded everything. Sarvantaryami. Chidakasa Rupoham. My nature is pure knowledge. Chidakasa Rupoham. Druda Nischaya Rupena. This is a Druda Nischayam. He need not think of that. Whether I am a Asanga Rupa or Sanga Rupa. Whether I am a physical body or Satchidananda Swarupa. He doesn't need any kind of meditation. He doesn't need any kind of thoughts. He doesn't need any kind of contemplation. Druda Nischaya. Few people, they used to ask, Swamiji, this Mahatma, how long he is doing meditation? Somebody, they asked Gurudev, Swami Chinmayanandji, every day, how many hours you do meditation? He said, 0. Huh? You don't do meditation? He said, no, I don't do meditation. Then that boy said, you are not great, Mahatma. You are not great. Meditation should be done 2 hours, 3 hours, 5 hours, 12 hours. Then only you will be called as a great Mahatma. He said, about what I should meditate? About what means Brahma, Aham, Asmi. I need not meditate. I know I am Brahma. There is no, after some point, they don't need any kind of meditation. They don't need any kind of contemplation. They don't need any kind of tapa or extra swadhyaya, sravana, as their wish. If they want to do, they do. If they doesn't want to do, they need not do. This is the greatness of jnana upasana. By doing something, we are not going to get this Brahma Jnana. By not doing also, we are not going to lose this Brahma Jnana. If you understood yourself properly, ho gaya. So that understanding only matters. Where all the confusions are there, eliminate all the confusions and settle in the knowledge. Drudha nischayena aparoksha jnanavan jivan muktaha. His knowledge is immediate knowledge. Aparoksha jnana means his knowledge is immediate knowledge. Immediate knowledge means he is not going to see Brahman. If he see Brahman as a jiva, that is called pratyaksha jnana, like a rose, like a water pot. We can see the rose, but rose is different, I am different. This is called pratyaksha jnana. His knowledge is not like that. He is meditating on Brahman. Brahman is there and this Purusha is there. He is meditating on it. No, this is not pratyaksha jnana. And this is not paroksha jnanam also. Paroksha jnana means somewhere Brahman is meditating now. Brahman in Vaikuntha Loka, Brahman in Swarga Loka, he is meditating. He is somewhere, I am somewhere. This is called paroksha jnana. Bhagavan, he is using, his knowledge is immediate knowledge. Immediate knowledge means I am Brahma. That is called Jivan Mukta Purusha Jnanam. Aparoksha Jnanavan Jivan Muktaha. This is the nature of Brahma Jnanam. We have one book called Aparoksha Anubhuti. People may ask Swamiji, what is the experience of Brahman? The experience of Brahman is aparoksha, not pratyaksha, nor paroksha. It is immediate knowledge. I am that pure consciousness. Not body, not mind, not intellect, not objects and beings and my relations with them. I am the substratum of all. Moreover, I am the one. Ekam Brahma. That knowledge is called Brahma Jnanam. Who has this knowledge, he is called as a Jivan Mukta Purusha. This is the definition Bhagavan is giving about the Mahapurusha. Now, student got one beautiful question. This is very, 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 very important question. Swamiji, you said he is a Mukta Purusha, liberated soul. From what, Swamiji? The bottom line is from karmas. We can say vasanas or we can say limitations. These are all because of our action only, our activity only. Vasanas where we will get from action only. Our texture of mind also, it is the reflection from the actions only. The student is asking, Swamiji, you said he is a liberated soul. After liberation, what is going to happen to his activity? Does he do something or not? If he do something, definitely action will give result. It may be vasana, it may be dukkha, sukha, something or other action will give because its nature is that. But he is already Jivan Mukta Purusha. What is his relation with action, activity? Because we are seeing many Mahatmas, they say they are realized souls, but they work more than us. They are very hard-working people, like Swami Vivekananda. He is a great Jivan Mukta Purusha. But he said we must work. We should not sit lazy. Even a sadhaka also, we must work. Gurudev also said, Karma Yoga is compulsory. One. Some Mahatmas, they don't do anything, like Ramana Maharshi, Tapovan Maharaj, they don't do anything. Few are like this, few are like that. Then Swamiji, please give some light on his activity. Does it bind him or it will not bind him? If not, why? That topic is Bhagavan is taking now. So let us see what he is saying. Bhagavan is saying, Brahma eva aham asmiti aparoksha jnanena. This man, Brahma eva aham. I am Brahman. With this immediate knowledge, aparoksha jnanena, with this knowledge, Nikhila karma bandha vinirmuktaha. He will be liberated from all kinds of karmas. Please see. He got freedom from all karmas. Nikhila karma bandha vinirmuktaha. He got freedom from all kinds of karmas. How, Swamiji? With the knowledge of this Brahma Jnanam. With the strength of knowledge only, he could release himself from the bondages of action, not by anything. That's why they say, knowledge is the antidote. Knowledge is the medicine. Knowledge is the perfect solution for the liberation from all kinds of actions. Nahi jnanena sadrusham pavitramiha vidyate. Bhagavad Gita says, Arjuna, we may do tirtha yatra, we may do yajna yagadi karma, we may do great tapo, yoga nishta, but nothing can purify us like knowledge. Nahi jnanena sadrusham pavitramiha vidyate. Because knowledge only can remove the main fellow who is projecting karmas. Other sadhanas, they purify karmas. Not bad action, good action you do charity, do control of mind, purify your buddhi. All the other sadhanas, they work on karmas. But the knowledge will work on the karmi, the doer. Check who is he. He is a false entity. And he is saying something is there, something is there, something is there. Then how can they will get, validity? That's why nahi jnanena sadrusham pavitramiha vidyate. If you want complete liberation from all kinds of actions, the antidote is this Atma Vidya. Atma Vidya is the only solution, my student. And one more question, very important. Generally, if a great Purusha or Mahatma Purusha, Siddha Purusha, somebody comes, we ask Swamiji, does he have any kind of siddhis? Like, can he get gold from air? Or can he move on what we call air, walk on water? So many siddhis are there. Mahapurushas, they may get siddhis, they may not get siddhis. But we cannot call them as Jivan Mukta Purushas, or we cannot call them as a complete liberated souls. The indication for Mahatma is he is completely liberated from all kinds of shackles of actions. He got the freedom from all kinds of vasanas. He doesn't pamper any vasana, any low tendencies. or any false values. He is completely free. That is his greatness, not showing any kind of miracles. They may be there, but that is not the subject. So the knowledge and karma mukti, these two only go together. Swamiji, you said he will be completely liberated from all kinds of karmas. Now please tell Swamiji, how many types of karmas are there? How many types of karmas are there, Swamiji? We know only two karmas. One is professional, second one is family. General, now in our language, these two only we know. One is professional, we do in office. Second one is family responsibilities. We have to do in our house. The father, son, mother, whatever. So is these two only or anything other? Actually, in Vedanta, they say the karmas are three types. They are called as prarabdha karma, sanchita karma, and agami karma. Karmas are three types. Prarabdha karma, sanchita karma, and agami karma. Swamiji, can you translate in English? Prarabdha karma means which already started. Prakrishtena arabdaha, which already started, yielding fruits like this body. This body is because of our prarabdha karma, matured vasanas, fruitified vasanas is called prarabdha karma. Okay, Swamiji. Then Swamiji, you said sanchita karma. What is sanchita karma, Swamiji? They say sanchita karma is nothing but accumulated vasanas. They were not at giving results, not yielding fruits, but they are in our deposits in bank, like fixed deposit. You know, in bank, something is called fixed deposit. That is our money only, but for a time slot, we fixed it. So many lives we are traveling, so many vasanas we are collected. All the vasanas are accumulated as a fixed deposit. That fixed deposit is called sanchita karma. Sanchita means well deposited in English. They are there. That is also karma only. One day, few they will come to maturity and they will become prarabdha karma. They will give results as prarabdha. And prarabdha, we have to eat it every day. In Karma Siddhanta, because of prarabdha only, you got a chance to listen this class, I got a chance to speak this class. In Karma Siddhanta, they are very strict. That is also one part of our Ved. Everything they will frame in this karma system. I got 2 children because of prarabdha. I don't have children because of prarabdha. I am very rich because of prarabdha. I am very poor because of prarabdha. They say nothing is in our hands. Already the karma is, it is pre-planned drama, this life. I have to pass through it. And Gurudev says exactly, whatever is there in your hand, that is his gift to you. Now, whatever you are doing with this, that is your gift to him. That is called Purushartha. Veda is saying that word also. Purushartha means you have the situation, you have the circumstance, you work on it, and you can do with the same condition whatever you want. That is called Purushartha. We have that freedom also. Beautifully, he says, whatever you have in your hand, that is his gift. Whatever you do with this is your gift to him. This is called prarabdha. So, sanchita karma, prarabdha karma, and Swamiji, you said agami karma. Agami karma means whatever we are going to get in future. That is there. That is there as a landmark. Tomorrow we have to hit it. We don't know now. Whatever there in right now, this is called prarabdha. Whatever we are going to get, whether it is a tomorrow or next life, that will be called as agami karma. These three are in Vedanta, or in our tradition, or in Shastras, they called as three types of karmas. Karmas are nothing but vasanas only. Don't think where is this karma, Swamiji, how it will be. Karma is nothing but our vasana. The final fruit from the karma is that vasana. In every activity, we will get it. That is called karma phala. See, check yourself. 4 people, they go for a coffee shop, or they order coffee, 4 they drink same coffee, but 4 people, they collect different kinds of what we call impression. That exact translation for vasana is impression. That is called karma phalam. Sometimes we may not get it. Completely we are unaware what is going. Sometimes we are too much attached to something. So this is all called karma theory. Prarabdha, sanchita, agami, this, that, this. You do this, you do that. And the nishiddha karma, prohibited karma, vidhi karma, upasana karma. So much people they speak. But the main are these 3. Swamiji, these 3 you said. For this Jivan Mukta Purusha, because he has passed so many lives like us, there may be fixed deposit for him also, there may be future results for him also, some kind of particular conditions in present life for him also. How they will affect him? I know. It is very valid question. He must have done so much crime in previous life. In Valmiki Charitra, it happened. He was a criminal. He was a dacoit. Then he did so much of crime, Swamiji. Now he is not going to get anything, or he is going to get the results. Then says, now beautiful story Swami Tejomayananji says regarding this issue. That issue is, one criminal was there. He killed one another person in some fight or argument somewhere. He murdered another one. Okay, na? And the case went to court. And the judge, he said, 14 years imprisonment to this man. Because now he is proved as a criminal because of that murder, crime. 14 years imprisonment. Jail, put him in jail. Now, how many years he has to eat that fruit? 14 years. The fruit of action is 14 years jail. He has to pass 14 years in that jail. Okay, the jailer filed it today. So date, time, day, year, today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 years. So this day he will be released. In India, if we join a government job, they will ask, my dear man, give your own date. You have a freedom. That day you will be retired. The joining day only they will ask that. Then no, my birthday is June. For example, I would like to retire June 30th. Some people ask, no. I would like to retire December 31st because that is the end of that year. That freedom is there. Few months you can get more, or few months you can delete in that year, last 60th year. That freedom is there. The same way the jailer also, he will put the last date of release. After 14 years, this man will be released. The file, they put the file and they put in the cupboard and he is sent into the jail. 14 years. After 6 months, this man died. This criminal He was died after 6 months. Then Swami Tejomayananji asked, then what about the 13 years, 6 months imprisonment? Who will eat it? Who will eat it, Swamiji? Nobody can eat. Why? Because the eater is dead. This Brahmajnana will do that. The eater of the fruits of action, that is the doer, that ahankara, he was eliminated. Then who will be responsible for sanchita karma, agami karma, prarabdha karma? Because the locus of the karma is karta, jiva. This jiva was falsified. He is completely with a different identification. So this karma cannot do anything to him. That's why in Veda they said, even Vedas also, they cannot prescribe any kind of do's and don'ts to this Jivan Mukta Purusha. Because he is not a being, he is the be. The be attitude he, not he is a being. Therefore, no karta, no bhokta. If there is no karta at all, no bhokta at all, who will enjoy the fruits of actions? This is completely his relationship. His relationship is completely different. So this is his state in the action field. This is called freedom from action. And moreover, Pujya Gurudev used to say, we cannot say this is as freedom from action. This Mukta Purusha, he is freedom in action. Among the so many activities also, he is free. That state is called Jivan Mukta Avastha. And one more point they say, in one Upanishad it is said, Bhagavan has written in Tattvabodha also, these Mahapurushas, they may do different kind of punya karma and papa karma as per our parlance. For example, Gurudev started Chinmaya Mission, schools, colleges, so many Vedanta course, Bal Vihar, Yuva Kendra, so many. Some activity may become wild or something, good or bad. One Upanishad it is said, if anybody, if he worships this man, this Jivan Mukta Purusha, some quota of his punya will go to him. It is there in one Upanishad. If we do puja, if we praise him, if we do namaskar, or if you can ask him whatever you want, and one Upanishad, you need not ask, you just thought of your problem in his presence, it will be solved. It will happen. This is because of his punyam. He accumulated so much punyam that punya will help this man, the devotee. And one more is there. If anybody criticizes them, unnecessarily harm them, some people they do, they harm the great people, they will get, if he unknowingly does any kind of papam, that papa will go to them. That is also one, what we call one sloka is there in Upanishad. Bhagavan has written that also. This is the punya papa karma bandha of the Jivan Mukta Purusha. That is his nature. His sanchita, his prarabdha, and his agami karma, he will deal in this way. Whoever do worship of him, they will get his punyam. Who will do harm to them, they will get his papam. That is there. And finally, Bhagavan Shankaracharya concluding this Tattvabodha text. This way, he is saying, Tadha Atmavit, this Brahmajnani, samsaram tirtva, he is beyond this samsaram tirthva, having crossed this samsaram, brahmanandam aham eva prapnoti. So where he will go, Swamiji? The answer is brahmanandam prapnoti. He will be in his own abode. That is called Brahma Ananda Swarup. Tarati sokam atmavit iti srutehe. If somebody asks, Swamiji, who will be completely get rid of sorrows? The answer is atmavit. We cannot say anyone completely get rid of sorrows, whether it is a president of America or a poor person in a slum. You cannot say they are completely get rid of sorrow. One and only person, he doesn't have the sorrow, dukkha sparsha api nasti. That is Atmavit, this Brahmagnani only. In Chandogya Upanishad, one story comes. Narada, he is a great devotee of Narayana, but still he used to feel some incompleteness. Some incompleteness here. So one day he approaches Sanaka Sanandanadi Maharshis. We know na, they are four. They are Brahmagnanis. And they are both are brothers. The Sanaka Sanandanadi are what we call Nivrutti Marga Jnanis. Nivrutti Marga means like sannyasis. Whereas Narada is Pravrutti Marga sannyasi. Pravrutti means he is a missionary. Narada is a missionary. Whereas the Sanaka Sanandanadi, they don't do anything. Even they don't wear clothes also. Small children. That is their life. One day they see this Narada and they ask Narada, Narada, why you are looking so dull? You are a great jnani and direct devotee of Narayana, and he loves you more and you love him more. Everywhere you will get worship. Wherever Narada goes, everybody will respect him. Even Asuras and Suras, both will respect him. Then why? What is wrong with you? He said, Narada, I don't know, my dear brother. You are right. I have everything. Still, I am feeling some incompleteness. Then they said this statement. Tarati sokam atmavit. Only Atmagnani only completely free from sorrow. Then Narada starts, what is called this Atmavit? Then they teach this Atmagnani. Unconditional happiness you will come to know when you come to know your own true nature. Even though if you have a big conditioning also, you cannot say you are completely liberated soul. Tarati sokam Atmavit. Swamiji, after his body journey, what is going to happen him? Tanum tyajatu va kashyam swapaschasya gruhe thava. This man, he can drop his body in Kashi or in Swapacha's house. In Swapacha, in Chandala's house, but nothing affects him. He can drop in Kashi or he can drop in Chandala Grubha also. Sthaleva, Jaleva, Akasheva. Bhagavan Shankaracharya once in Viveka Chudamani, he says, it may get rid of in Sthaleva, on earth, or in waters, or in space. Let it be, I don't care. I completely get rid of this body identification. Tyajatu va kashyam swapaschasya gruhe tava. Jnana samprapti samaye muktaha asau vigata ashaya. When I got this knowledge, jnana samprapti samaye, at that time only I am completely liberated. So I don't have any kind of expectations. No expectation. No worries. Complete freedom. Somebody asked Gurudev after this kind of, Gurudev, Who will be like this? Then Gurudev said, Tapovanji is like this. Unexpected, zero expectations, zero sorrow. Shuddha Brahma Anandam Eva. He doesn't know when this body got dropped. That is completely higher altitude. That Mahapurusha is called Jivan Mukta Purusha. Amogha. In Narada Bhakti Sutra, it is said, we cannot get them anywhere or everywhere. Amogha. Mahapunya Sparsha. If you see them also, that's very lucky. Iti Tattva Bodha Prakaranam Samaptam. In this way, from the student to this Jivan Mukta, this is the complete journey of Tattva Bodha, knowledge of truth. So this way, Guruji, he concludes that if the student is very, what we call, serious, very keen to know, then this text itself enough to reflect on the truth and to settle in the truth. The bottom line is, truth is one, that is unconditional Satya Chitta Ananda Swarupam. That is me. Aparoksha Jnana. Not truth is somewhere. Not our truth is in front of me. Truth is me. As long as the settlement comes, so long we have to do this Sravana, Manana, Nitidhyasana. That's why they say in one of the textbooks, Swamiji, I could not understand this knowledge. Then the Guru says, listen again. You start listen again. Do Shravanam. Then few more doubts will be clear. Again do Mananam. Again do Nididhyasana. But the bottom is, you are that. Tat Tvam Asi. So as a tradition, we chant the first sloka again. That means we are ready to do the reflection again. That will be the attitude of the student. Bhuyo Bhuyo Visruvamaha. Again and again, we are ready to know. Hey Sadguru, this is our prayer. Vasudevendra Yogindram Natva Jnanapradam Gurum Mumukshunam Hitardhaya Tattvabodho Vidhiyate. Tattvabodho Vidhiyate.